I am going to work through the Chapter 3 You Do It section located at the back of Chapter 3. The very first thing I'm going to do here is create a class whose name is Setup Site. Now, whenever I create code, I go ahead and create the opening and closing braces so that I don't forget them, for one thing, but it's just easier for me to go ahead and do them as I begin. Now, the next thing we need is to create a method, our main method, because remember, every program has to have either a main method or access to a main method in order for it to work. Without a beginning point, which is what your main method is, your program doesn't know where to start, because remember, we are running an object-oriented language. Now, the only thing our main method is going to do here is to call a method whose name is statement of philosophy. So what we've got to do is create a call statement, and all this call statement is going to do is have the name of the method. And it is an executable line of code, and remember, every executable line of code must end with a semicolon. Now, the next thing we have to do is to actually create the method whose name is statement of philosophy. It must be located outside of the curly braces that represent the main method. If they were enclosed in those curly braces, it would be part of the main method. This is not going to be. It's going to be a separate method altogether. Now remember, statement of philosophy must be exactly the same. It must be identical here in the method's name as it is in the call statement. If it varies, then you're not going to be able to call the actual method. Now, the only thing we're doing here in the method is creating 3 lines of output. And remember, what we're doing here is we're creating literal strings. And that actually means that whatever's enclosed here inside the parentheses is going to be literally what is going to display. So if you misspell anything, if you do not have correct spacing, whatever, it's all going to show up in your output. Oops, got a typo there, most memorable one. All right, and now what I'm going to do at this particular point is I need to go in and save my class. Now remember, you must save the class identical file name. If you don't have them identical, you're going to have some problems. Now, you'll notice I've got a couple of compile errors because they're stated down here. Now what this is going to tell me is that I have got an expected semicolon. Okay, it shows me exactly where it's expected. You'll notice here I have a colon, so I'm going to replace that with a semicolon. And here again I've got another expected semicolon, and you'll notice that here's the error. Here I'm missing one, so I simply put that there. I recompile, because remember, anytime you make a change, you must recompile. Here's the output that shows me the 3 lines that it's displaying. Again, what we've got is a class whose name is setup class, a main method here that does nothing but has a call statement to find a method whose name is statement of philosophy. It finds the statement of philosophy, displays the 3 lines of output, and that's the end of the first You Do It exercise.